Today we're diving into the recap of Supergirl 2026. This is Kara Zor-El, the fun-loving, party-hearted Kryptonian who's always down for a good time. On her birthday, Kara gets a message from her cousin Clark Kent, yep, Superman himself, wishing her a happy birthday and gently asking when she's finally coming home. Right now, Kara is cruising through space in her personal ship, heading to a wild, bustling interstellar bar. She's living her best carefree life. No job, no responsibilities, just pure vibes. But after the party ends, she's completely drained. So she does what any Kryptonian does. She and Krypto blast off into deep space to sunbathe under a yellow sun, recharging her powers. Meanwhile, on the red sun planet Holtzar, where Kryptonian powers are basically useless, a terrifying figure emerges. Crimson of the Yellow Hills, leader of the brutal Brigand clan. They've come for legendary weapons forged by a young girl's family. And they want the girl too, Ruthie. When they arrive at her home, Crimson acts surprisingly chill, even sitting down to enjoy the free food like he's just a friendly guest. Ruthie's parents proudly show off their finest weapons. Their family is famous across the galaxy for crafting the best blades in existence. But Crimson insists on inspecting everything himself. Then things turn dark fast. When Ruthie's older brother tries to intervene, Crimson kills him without hesitation. He slaughters both parents right in front of the young girl, forcing her to watch the horror unfold. After burying her entire family, a heartbroken Ruthie stands over their graves and makes a solemn vow. She will have her revenge on the monster who destroyed her life. Cut back to Kara and Krypto, who are chilling nearby. From afar, they spot a lively celebration happening at a bar on Holtzar. Kara even says she could imagine settling down there one day. Even though the red sun weakens her powers, the planet feels peaceful and beautiful, like it could finally be a real home. Soon after, Ruthie walks into the same bar. With incredible courage, she stands up and announces to everyone that she's looking for someone who can help track down Crimson of the Yellow Hills. She needs to find her family's killer before the trail goes cold. She offers her father's masterpiece sword as payment to whoever helps her. The moment she reveals the blade, the whole room recognizes its incredible quality. Everyone knows the reputation of her family's craftsmanship. Most people just laugh at her, telling her it's impossible for a young girl and warning her that Crimson is no ordinary enemy.
Suddenly, a mysterious creature steals the sword. Kara immediately gives chase and demands it back. The thief refuses. Under the Red Sun's influence, Kara has no superpowers. She tries to fight for the sword anyway and gets absolutely beaten down. Seeing this, Ruthie and Krypto jump in to help. Krypto goes full attack mode with his surprisingly strong and kinda cute bites. Kara eventually gets back up and fights with everything she has. After an intense, sweat-drenched battle, they finally take down the creature and retrieve the sword. Kara returns it to Ruthie and decides to rest. The next morning, she wakes up next to Krypto, only to realize one of the creature's teeth is still stuck in her leg. She casually pulls it out. Not long after, she gets another call from Clark Kent, who's clearly worried and asks again when she's coming home. He tells her that jumping from planet to planet won't help her find a real home. Kara replies sadly that she feels like she has no one left. The home she once knew is long gone. Clark tries to convince her to stay with him and build a new life where she feels loved and accepted. Then, knock knock, someone's at the ship door. It's Ruthie, still determined to hunt Crimson and hoping Kara will join her. Supergirl refuses. She helped once, but she's not interested in getting involved in someone else's revenge quest. But things escalate fast. Crimson and his brigand thugs have already infiltrated the ship and taken control. Krypto tries to fight back, but gets shot with a strange capsule containing a mysterious toxin. Within seconds, the superdog is paralyzed. In a panic, Kara and Ruthie escape to find help. Ruthie takes her to a healer. Through Ruthie's translation, the healer explains that Krypto has been poisoned with Redmere, a slow, agonizing toxin that will kill him in about 3 days if they don't get the antidote. The bad news, the antidote is only held by Crimson species, and they don't give it away for free. Time is running out. Ruthie insists on joining the hunt, but Kara tells her to stay and watch over Krypto. She decides to go after the space pirate alone. We then get a heartfelt flashback showing how Kara first met Krypto and why he became her most important friend in the universe. Sometime earlier, Kara was waiting at an interstellar transport terminal. When the massive space bus arrives, she boards along with dozens of passengers from across the galaxy, and, surprise, Ruthie is on the same bus. During the ride, Ruthie gets into a small argument with an alien over where she placed her backpack.
Carr explains it's a serious insult in that species' culture, but the problem is quickly forgotten when something much worse happens. Without warning, a red energy beam hits the bus. A gang of high-tech space pirates hijacks the transport, looking to steal fuel, engines, and anything valuable. The pirates storm in, robbing everyone. Anyone who resists gets brutally punished. They soon demand Kara's watch and Ruthie's sword. But Kara isn't handing anything over. She calmly walks up to the pirates and offers them a deal, pretending she has something they really want. While she distracts them, she activates her teleportation device and launches a fierce counterattack inside the bus. After teleporting with the pilot to safety, she asks where the nearest yellow sun is. It's not too far, but the bus can't reach it. So Kara suits up in a spacesuit and prepares to go alone to recharge. But just as she's about to put on her helmet, one of the pirates accidentally opens the emergency hatch. Kara gets sucked out into vacuum of space without full protection. Despite that, she manages to reach the yellow sun's radiation in time. The moment her body absorbs the energy, her full powers return. Supergirl is back and unstoppable. She flies straight to the hijacked bus and effortlessly takes down the pirates one by one. They try to chase her, but quickly realize she's not just strong, she's also really smart. Using her restored power, Kara steals their main engine and leaves the entire pirate crew stranded in deep space. Later, Kara and Ruthie arrive at an interstellar station. Kara explains more about her powers, how yellow suns fuel Kryptonians, while red suns make them almost human. Ruthie asks why she keeps going to red sun planets. Kara just grins and says, the drinks taste better there. After their chat, they refocus on the main mission, finding Crimson of the Yellow Hills. To get leads, Kara begins interrogating the captured pirates. At first, the pirates refuse to talk, but after Kara applies a persuasive pressure, one of them finally cracks. The pirate warns them to be extremely careful. According to him, Crimson of the Yellow Hills is insanely powerful and known for destroying anyone who dares stand in his way. Eventually, they get a solid lead. Several members of the Brigand clan are currently on the planet Bilquis. They're there looking for mates to keep their dying species alive. Not long after, they arrive on Bilquis. They step into a massive, rowdy tavern packed with mercenaries, criminals, bounty hunters, and strange beings from every corner of the galaxy. Inside, Kara realizes that Ruthie is being treated like a bargaining chip. To get information about the brigands, she decides to join a high-stakes gambling match. The deal is simple. If Kara loses, she and Ruthie become the opponent's property. If she wins, they get the information they need. The first opponent is taken down easily, but that victory draws the attention of much more dangerous fighters. One challenger after another steps up until Kara faces someone far stronger. In that fight, she even snaps the guy's arm. The tension skyrockets. The entire tavern turns hostile. Dozens of fighters rise from their seats and start surrounding Kara from all sides. Seeing the chaos unfolding, Kara tells Ruthie to get as far away as possible. Then she stares down everyone in the room and asks with a smirk, "Are you sure you want to do this?" The answer comes in the form of a massive group attack. The tavern instantly turns into an all-out battlefield. Kara tears through enemy after enemy with blinding speed and precision. When the dust finally settles, two figures approach them, Bomar Van and Harpoon Bride. They say they're also looking for information on the brigands. But before the conversation can go further, the atmosphere in the room suddenly shifts. A legendary figure walks in. It's Lobo. The legendary bounty hunter from Sarnikia strides in with total confidence and zero fear. Just his name is enough to make most people back off. Across the galaxy, Lobo is known as the man who's almost impossible to kill. Lobo reveals he's hunting a brigand member connected to Crimson. Ruthie immediately wants to talk to him, but Kara quickly warns her not to get involved. Of course, Ruthie doesn't listen. She approaches Lobo anyway. As expected, the irritable bounty hunter gets annoyed fast. Kara jumps in to calm things down, explaining that they're just two visitors from Metropolis on a space trip to celebrate her birthday. Instead of helping, her explanation only irritates Lobo more. After a few tense exchanges, he calls them useless, says he has no interest in helping, and storms out of the tavern. Harpoon Bride warns Kara and Ruthie that it's too dangerous to stay there. She kindly offers them a place to crash at her home until things cool down. She even gives Ruthie some clothes to cover up, explaining that a young girl traveling alone is far more vulnerable in a place like this. She assures them that Bomar will join later. Once they arrive at the house, the mood becomes much more relaxed. The curious Ruthie starts asking about Earth and what it's like living there, but Kara's answer takes them back to a much darker time, long before she ever set foot on the blue planet. Kara tells her story. She was born on Krypton. Years before her birth, her uncle had warned the Kryptonian Council about the coming disaster. He calculated that the planet's core would eventually collapse and destroy their entire civilization. No one believed him. When baby Kal-El was sent to Earth, some Kryptonians survived, thanks to a giant magnetic shield that protected part of the planet. Thanks to that tech, fragments of Krypton remained habitable for a few more years. That's where Kara was born and raised, in in the surviving region, specifically Argo City. Life went on normally for a while, until a mysterious contamination began spreading. The land turned toxic, and a deadly disease swept through the population. Day by day, more people got sick and died, including Kara's parents. As the situation worsened, her father, Zor-El, realized there was almost no hope left. In desperation, he dug up the old escape pod designs he once used to save Kal-El. If his nephew could survive, maybe his daughter could too. On the day of departure, Zor-El told Kara she was the symbol of everything good he and her mother had loved about Krypton. Her dying mother gave her one final message. No matter where she goes, she must always remain a good person and do what's right. Not long after, her mother took her last breath. With the planet on the brink of total collapse, Zor-El prepared the escape pod before sending Kara into space. He explained that her destination had a yellow sun that would give her incredible power, and he told her to use that power to protect those who cannot protect themselves. Then Kara left Krypton with Krypto, leaving behind everything she had ever known. Back in the present, while resting at Harpoon's house, Kara accidentally overhears the couple talking. She learns that a friend of theirs who is about to arrive has information on Crimson's location, but something feels off. Harpoon and Bomar explain that the brigands have the habit of kidnapping young girls and taking them far from home. With tears in their eyes, they admit their own daughter was once a victim of such abductions. To show hospitality, they offer Kara some tea. Without suspicion, she drinks it. Moments later, her body starts feeling strange. She realized the drink was laced with a slow-acting paralytic. Fighting to stay conscious, Kara asks for something to counteract the poison. Harpoon, looking regretful, gives her milk from their strange pet creature.
Then the shocking truth is revealed. Desperate to get their own daughter back, the couple made a deal with the criminals. They would hand over 2 other girls in exchange. Those 2 girls? Kara and Ruthie. Filled with rage, Kara tries to fight off the toxin just as Crimson and his brigand thugs arrive to collect their merchandise. In the chaos, Supergirl charges at Crimson and manages to snatch a small container he's carrying, the antidote needed to save Krypto. But her success is short-lived. Crimson retaliates with brutal force, overpowering her. He reclaims the antidote before she can escape with it. At the same time, Ruthie is discovered by the thugs. They try to drag her away. Kara fights through multiple enemies at once, even while still weakened, to protect her. After an all-out brawl, Kara finally reaches Ruthie. She hugs the girl tightly and flies them both into the sky to escape. But from that moment on, everything descends into total chaos. A massive, unavoidable battle breaks out, and all sides get dragged into the uncontrollable conflict. The criminals' ships are revealed to be filled with kidnapped young girls forced from their homes. When things look most hopeless, unexpected help arrives. Lobo enters the battlefield. The legendary bounty hunter charges straight into Crimson's forces without hesitation. While freeing the prisoners, he destroys one enemy after another. Meanwhile, Kara keeps fighting relentlessly, trying to get the antidote back for Krypto. In the middle of the madness, Sarnon, the daughter of the betraying couple, tries to escape by climbing a giant structure. Crimson immediately chases after her. Ruthie sees her chance for revenge. Gripping her family's heirloom sword, she follows Crimson, believing this is the moment she's been waiting for. But it gets extremely dangerous when Crimson nearly finds her. Luckily, Kara arrives just in time to save Ruthie. Soon after, Crimson catches Sarnon. Her parents also arrive, hoping to reunite as a family. Sadly, that hope ends in tragedy. Without mercy, Crimson brutally kills all 3 of them, once again proving why his name is feared across the galaxy as one of the most ruthless beings alive. After the slaughter, Crimson flees. A furious Ruthie blames Kara, saying she almost had the chance to kill Crimson, but Kara ruined it. Kara explains that she will never let Ruthie become a killer, because that burden would haunt her for the rest of her life. Their argument gets heated. In the end, Kara decides to fly off into space alone to clear her head. While Krypto's condition is getting worse, the poison flowing through his body keeps weakening him bit by bit. On the other side, Kara manages to capture one of Crimson's creatures. With some very strong persuasion, she forces it to reveal the villain's hiding place. The lead takes her to a planet called Barrington. But the moment she arrives, Kara realizes she has a huge problem. The planet is under the influence of a green sun. As soon as the radiation hits her, her body weakens dramatically. The longer she stays, the weaker she gets, until she finally collapses unconscious. Right before the ship that brought her leaves, another person falls to the planet's surface. It's Ruthie, who secretly snuck aboard to follow Kara. Seeing Supergirl lying helpless, Ruthie quickly helps her and searches for a safe place to hide. When Kara wakes, the film flashes back to her past. We see how Clark first found her after she arrived on Earth. At that time, Kara didn't even understand human language yet. Clark patiently introduces her to this new world that would become her home. He explains everything about Earth and helps her learn to control her powers. Of course, it takes time for her to adjust to this brand new life. Meanwhile, little Crypto is running around like crazy, causing total chaos everywhere he goes. Back to the present. Kara explains that the brigands deliberately chose Barrington because the planet sits between a yellow sun and a green sun. They knew the green sun radiation is extremely dangerous, even lethal to Kryptonians. Ruthie shows her a protective suit she found and offers it to Kara, but Kara refuses to wear it. The biggest problem isn't her physical condition. What scares her the most is the thought of losing Crypto without being able to say goodbye. Later, Ruthie leaves their hiding spot to look for water. Bad luck strikes again. She's discovered by the enemy and knocked unconscious. When she wakes, Ruthie finds herself locked in a brigand cage. While trying to find a way out, she's shocked to see Lobo is also being held in the same place. Lobo immediately warns her not to touch the bars. They're coated with deadly poison. Soon after, a brigand member arrives and says that killing a Kryptonian would be a huge achievement for their group. They quickly report the situation to Crimson. Moments later, Crimson himself appears in front of the cage. With a sinister smile, he tells Ruthie that her friend is in grave danger because the green sun radiation could kill a Kryptonian. Then, he offers her a deal. If she reveals Kara's location, he'll let her live. Ruthie's answer is crystal clear. She spits right in Crimson's face. That move enrages the villain. Furious, he orders his men to kill Ruthie before the day ends and storms off. Not long after, Ruthie suddenly shouts that she's willing to reveal Kara's location. She even demands to be taken directly to Crimson. The unsuspecting guards escort her out of the cage. But it's all a clever trick. On the way, Ruthie manages to take down her guards and frees Lobo. Now the brave young girl and the galaxy's most dangerous bounty hunter are on the same side. Together, they prepare to hunt down Crimson and destroy what's left of the Brigand clan once and for all. Before they begin their hunt, Ruthie first retrieves her family's heirloom sword. At the same time, Kara reflects on her father's final message and Clark's advice. Those words slowly reignite her fighting spirit. Soon, a new day arrives and the yellow sun rises again in the sky. Its energy begins restoring Kara's power. Meanwhile, Ruthie is recaptured by the brigands. Once again, Crimson seizes her sword and treats her as a prisoner. But just when things look hopeless, Kara appears without warning. Supergirl immediately frees Ruthie and charges at Crimson with all the anger she's been holding back. She demands payback for what he did to Crypto. At the same time, Lobo joins the fight, attacking the brigand forces from the other side. However, the enemy has prepared a trap. They use several kryptonite capsules to weaken Kara. The effect is instant. Supergirl loses her strength as excruciating pain spreads through her body. Crimson enjoys the sight. With a cruel smile, he says he loves seeing her suffer. He even admits he knows exactly how much pain she's in. Then, he orders one of his men to finish Supergirl off. But before the order is carried out, Lobo appears and ends the threat with a deadly strike. In the middle of the chaos, Kara forces herself to stand. One by one, she rips the kryptonite capsules from her body until her power slowly returns. Seeing the opportunity, Lobo throws Crimson out of the ship so Ruthie can have her long-awaited shot at the man who destroyed her life. But Crimson survives by grabbing the same rope Ruthie is holding. Meanwhile, Kara still has to deal with the rest of the brigand forces pouring in. The battle reaches its climax when their ship crashes into a massive mountain. The violent impact destroys most of the ship and throws everyone in different directions. Kara falls into the sea while several brigands chase after her. Elsewhere, Ruthie escapes the explosion, but Crimson relentlessly pursues her. After defeating her pursuers, Kara emerges from the water and recharges under the yellow sun to regain her full strength. From a distance, she sees Ruthie in danger and flies in to save her.
Crimson had been buried under the wreckage, but manages to survive and climb out. When Kara learns there are still many captive women held in the Brigand underground base, she decides to leave Ruthie temporarily to free them. This leaves Ruthie to face danger alone. Soon after, several brigands surround her from all sides. Realizing there's no other way out, Ruthie draws her sword and prepares to fight. Meanwhile, Kara successfully frees all the remaining prisoners. Just as Ruthie is about to face Crimson directly, Supergirl swoops in, drags the villain away, and beats him mercilessly. Kara then returns to help Ruthie, taking down every brigand surrounding her. Using her power and fighting experience, she drops them one by one until none are left standing. Now only Crimson remains. Ruthie steps forward, gripping her sword tightly. For years, she has dreamed of this moment. She's ready to end the life of the man who murdered her family. But Kara stops her. Supergirl tells her that she still has a good heart and shouldn't stain her life with revenge. Those words make Ruthie remember her family, the love they gave her, and all the beautiful memories they shared. Finally, she lowers her sword and nods to kill Crimson. Kara hugs Ruthie proudly and takes her away from the battlefield. However, after Ruthie leaves, Kara returns to Crimson. As payback for what he did to Krypto, she stabs him once. Then she does it again as punishment for all the suffering he caused Ruthie and so many other victims. After that, she takes back the antidote she had been searching for. In the distance, Lobo simply watches everything without interfering. Soon after, Kara rushes back to Krypto. Carefully, the doctor injects the antidote. The result is immediate. Slowly but surely, Krypto recovers. The poison that nearly took his life disappears, and the Superdog is back to being cheerful, energetic, and playful like before. The next day, it's time for goodbyes. Ruthie decides to stay with her uncles. She vows to continue her family's legacy by becoming a great weapon maker, just like her father. Meanwhile, Kara realizes she has spent too long wandering aimlessly. She even jokes that she's finally done with interstellar bar hopping. The two share a warm farewell. But before they truly part ways, Kara invites Ruthie to stay a few more days on her ship so they can finally finish the birthday celebration that was interrupted.
Of course. Thank you. You could be gone for a couple of days, right?
After a few fun days together, Kara and Krypto finally return to Earth. In the film's ending, she reunites with Clark, who complains that he always needs her help, but his cousin is never around. Kara smiles and says she won't be going anywhere for a while. She plans to stay on Earth longer. For the first time in a long time, Kara finally feels like she has a place to call home. Together with Clark and Krypto, Supergirl rediscovers the true meaning of family. Okay, maybe that's all for today's film recap. If you have any suggestions, feel free to write in the comments. I'm Fox, and thanks for watching.